hits me. I find it strange how we can hurt people we care about without even meaning to, and how sometimes we feel hurt by others without knowing exactly why. What I want to talk about in this message is how we affect each other, especially when we're caught in the parts of ourselves that we don't really want to look at. We all carry something inside that's hard to face, a part that's angry, selfish, even cruel. And when we don't see it, or we pretend it's not there, it ends up leaking out anyway. Maybe not in big, obvious ways, but in quiet, unconscious ones. A cold shoulder, a sarcastic remark, a wall that goes up when someone reaches for us. The more honest we are about this inner part, the less power it has over us. Of course, getting honest isn't easy. We've built all sorts of defenses, blame, denial, guilt, in order to keep ourselves from seeing what's really going on underneath. That guilt, especially, it's like quicksand. The more we feel it and try to hide it, the deeper we sink. There's a kind of loop we get caught in. We feel bad about our hidden anger or hate, so we bury it. But the more we bury it, the more frustrated we get, and the more it comes out sideways. Then we feel worse, and the whole thing repeats. It's hard to get out of that cycle unless we're willing to look straight at the part of ourselves that's causing it. Now, there are different ideas out there about what we should do with these thoughts and feelings. Some people say it's fine to think or feel anything as long as you don't act on it. Others say that even your thoughts affect the world around you. The truth probably lives somewhere in the middle. Thoughts and feelings do carry energy, they do affect others, but that doesn't mean you need to punish yourself for having them. It just means you're responsible for what you choose to do with them. There's a real difference between feeling something and acting it out. And there's a big difference between owning something and identifying with it. You're not just your anger. You're not just your fear. You're not just your worst impulse. But pretending those things don't exist, especially when they do, keeps you trapped. A lot of the time, we think someone else is making us feel the way we do, that if they change, we'd feel better. That's a trap, too. As long as we believe someone else holds the key to our peace, we're stuck. And if we're stuck, we'll make others stuck too. That's how this stuff spreads between partners, families, even countries. But when you take full responsibility for how you feel, without making excuses and without turning on yourself, something starts to shift. You see your part in things clearly. You stop trying to prove your innocence. You stop needing the other person to admit guilt. And oddly enough, that's when real connection becomes possible again. There's a kind of strength that grows when you stop hiding. Not the kind of strength that overpowers others. The kind that lets you stay steady even when someone else is struggling. Your presence alone starts to have an effect. It invites people to be honest with themselves without force. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But either way, you're no longer at the mercy of their denial. When you faced your own darkness, someone else's won't scare you as much. You might still feel it, but it won't take you down. And that's where real freedom lives. And your presence, your clarity, starts to ripple outward. It softens things, sometimes even before a word is said. Of course, we all go back and forth. Some days you're grounded and clear, other days old patterns creep in. That's normal. You're still learning. But on the days you see it, like really see it, you're no longer reacting from a place of blame. You stop feeding the conflict. You become a source of something different. And if two people both stop hiding just a little, it creates space. There's a quiet recognition. I see where I've hurt you, and I see where I've hurt myself. It doesn't fix everything, but it does shift the energy. It makes healing possible. Now, the other side of this is how others affect you. You might have done a lot of work. You might be open and giving and no longer trying to hurt anyone, but you still feel impacted by others' negativity. You still feel hurt when someone closes off or attacks you. That's natural. It also shows you where you're still carrying something inside. Some guilt, some fear, some part of you that still believes you deserve to suffer. The more you clear that out, the less others' pain touches you in a harmful way. You can feel it without collapsing into it. You can care without taking it on. You don't need to shut yourself off to protect yourself. That kind of defense just creates loneliness. It keeps the good out too. But if your heart is wide open and you haven't faced your own anger, you'll get knocked around. You'll think you're just sensitive when maybe it's that your defenses are down before you've done the work. That's not freedom. That's exposure without support. Real safety comes from truth, and truth comes from seeing all of yourself, even the parts you'd rather avoid. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. And when you are, you don't need to defend yourself in unhealthy ways. You protect yourself by staying close to your own center. And life gives you chances every day to practice. Every moment of discomfort is a signal. Every time you feel unsettled, ask yourself, not who did this to me, rather, what part of me is being shown right now? That's how life teaches us. If you're willing to listen, it won't lead you astray. Some days you'll feel amazing, connected, at peace. And some days you'll feel raw and off center. Know that that's not failure. That's the work. That's the path. It doesn't coddle you. It doesn't let you off the hook. It keeps its promise. And the promise is this: the more honest you are with yourself, the more alive you become. The more you stop blaming, the more you love. Not in a grand idea kind of way, in real moments, with real people, in your real life. That's what we're here for. Love you. Connect soon.